Yo, what do you guys saying? It's room. We're in Quebec City, bro. We'll go around. That's what it is.
Get that, bro. Is it recording?
Yeah. You got a ticket?
Omar, she's your friend, bro. Alright, see you, bro. All I told you.
She. It's actually Omar?
This is me taking out the car.
No way, bro.
And then, yeah, I felt. Yeah, like, hola, the bottom.
No way.
Hola, this is Omar's bottom. Oh, right here?
Yeah, right here, fam.
Yo, it's full, bro. I got exposed, bro.
Nah, man, I'm sorry, man. You know?
No worries, bro.
Yo, hopefully this guy didn't get a ticket, yeah?
It's a good, you know? It's a good run.
This one, the old one or the new one? Let's see, what's with bowling, man?
Not the old, the other one, the smaller one.
Yo, so we're going to this restaurant called Liban, yo. It's like a Lebanese restaurant. So the thing about Quebec City, it's not a lot of halal places. And when there is a halal like cuisine, it's usually like Arab cuisine, like Lebanese, you know, Middle Eastern. So let's go with that. I think Montreal is more diverse, you know, and probably like different halal places there. That's about it, yo. We'll go to the restaurant. See you there. Oh, mask, bro.
Try and take it.
Actually, no, I think I have the next one.
Shoot, no, I don't.
Yeah, everyone come in.
Yo, so we got the food.
Done that, bro.
The next tea. He said this guy, the owner said the Shish Taouk is the best there. So we'll see how this does.
One bag.
Yeah.
And this has one in there.
Yeah.
That one's
Why are you confusing me?
We'll see how this is, man. We're gonna try it, bro. I got baklava too, chocolate baklava and regular baklava too.
Oh, yeah.
I'll try it after.
Yo, I couldn't find a good picture, bro.
No, it's there, it's there. There's a lot of pictures. There's like there's 4 pages. This is a Shish Taouk. Shish Taouk sandwich. Yo, it looks nice, bro. How much was the total for this? For a drink and the combo? Drink and thing? So something. Alright, just smell it. It was good, yeah. I'm sorry. It's good, bro. Amazing. Hey, you guys gotta check out this place, bro. We all got Shish Taouk, yo. Almost. That's what we said, bro. You like it, bro?
That's bro.
This one, you like it? You like it? Shit, it's great.
You have hot sauce?
You like it?
Yeah.
Oh, hot sauce, smart. Yeah. I need the hot sauce, dog. Are you looking for some hot sauce? Where that? Where that, man? Hold on, I put too much from. Amazing. No, I put too much, man, but it's still nice, yo. Yo, we're gonna try the baklava. Whoa. You guys want some?
Okay, thank you.
I'm trying this chocolate one, yeah. Looks sick. It's not bad, yo. Not the best, yo. Shit, yeah, not as good, yo, man. I think this wrap is good, bro. Don't get the dessert. Don't get the dessert. Don't get the dessert, guys. This is better. The chocolate one is not as good, but this one, the original baklava is better. It's good. It's good for a fast food restaurant, you know. Are you?
Is that me right there?
You see some?
Zoom in, man. Zoom in, man. That's it.
No. Put it out. Down there. Yeah.
Make it more right.
Go back. Yeah.
Yeah, that's where it's going. This tastes horrible.
Why?
What's wrong with it?
What's wrong with it?
Bro, it's not April Fool, bro.
Try it out.
No, I'm gonna question you.
No, I'm not trying anything.
No, the other one's better. The other one's better.
Why is it bad though?
It's cold, bro.
Let me take a break. No. Drink.
This is better, bro. Better, right? See, I know.
Number two.
Number two. It's the worst. The rap was better, right? Now we know, guys. Holy shit, zoom in my face, bro. Holy shit. Alright, now we know, guys. Don't get the desserts. Get the wraps, though. It's really easy, man. I think because the dessert is not as fresh, yeah. But it's a fast food restaurant, too, right? But still, yeah. Get the wrap, yeah. No dessert.
No dessert.
Block up?
This is like the wall, eh?
Yeah, I did. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that's not good. You know that. I think I've been here, bro. You go up there? Yeah.
No.
What is this? Oh, yeah, it's a... Yo, you wanted to go there anyways. It's a fortification. I wanted to go here anyways. See. It's like a park and stuff. Ontario Park is sick. Where are we?
Some people down there.
Yeah.
Yeah, you want to do it?
Tour thing? No. There's some nice shit. It's a park club. Sick, bro. This looks sick too, bro. No one has a mask, bro. Oh, what the hell is this, bro? Let's see. Looks like a bar, no? What's your vlogging like? Oh, jeez. What's this, bro?
Quebec. Big rice from American Indian word. Eat that. Stay with us and find out much more about exceptional history of the fortified city of Quebec.
These are not free, but this one is. It's for the scale model, but seriously, they're almost free. It's like $2 or $5, and they're really good documentation if you want to take a look.
Yeah, look at the gears, bro. Whoa. Yo, what the hell? Look at the souvenirs. So you get souvenirs? Yeah, after, yeah. You give some to your family.
The glasses?
You want to Paul, yeah?
Next year.
Look at this, looks sick, the pin, bro.
Yeah.
Made in Canada, bro, that's sick. Look at this. Yeah.
$7.90.
I see my tube in.
Here's a round thing. Here's some words over here.
This is no word. What's this thing? What's this thing? It's like a punch clock here. Whoa. We'll go in the pictures. This for women workers in Canada, in the military. Very cool. There's some random guy here. Those are all the things that happen. I love this. Shout out to you. The things. Can I make a video? It's fine. Can I make a video?
Yeah, it's okay. It's okay.
Okay.
Yeah, so here it's basically the summary of all the exhibit. It shows you all the different walls that were built in Quebec City. So from the French period until the Canadian one. Well, during the Canadian one, it's other buildings that were built in this period. So, have you walked in the city yet, or
A little bit.
a little bit? Have you been
to
somewhere?
the castle area? Or something?
Yeah, you've been over there. There is
Yeah.
the Chateau Frontenac over there, the big Fairmont Hotel, and the boardwalk is here. Have you noticed on the boardwalk there are some windows also? Yeah. Those windows, they show artifacts under of the old fort.
Underneath. Yeah, we've seen that.
Yeah, you saw that.
It's beautiful.
So this fort was one of the first fortifications that was built in Quebec City. The first one was the habitation in Lower Town. Now there's really not a lot of trace of it. So it was there, 1608, 1620. It was built there, the St. Louis forts, and eventually the castle of Quebec, the real one, not the hotel that you have today. And when you'll take a peek at the beautiful scale model in the middle, the castle, the St. Louis castle, is represented because it was not burned yet in 1806. So the scale model, it's
that one.
from 1806. So it's a 200 years old scale model. And the castle, it burned in 1834. So I will be able to show it to you. And after those two little fortifications, what we did was first a palisade. That's some basic to do. So it's made in 1690. And basically a palisade, just chop some trees and plant them with some spikes on top. It took them 2 weeks to do this big wall. Because it was an emergency, because there was the Admiral Phipps who was coming to us and attacking Quebec City. So we had to do something. And yeah, so that's the first wall. But after this attack, Quebec decided to get serious about building walls. So there were two engineers who wanted to do two kinds of walls. So the first engineer wanted to do this wall that you see there. He was named Beaucourt. So he wanted to do a short wall that was closer to the city. And the other engineer was named Levasseur de Néré. He wanted to do the wall over there, the one that we still have today. And this other wall would be in stone. This one would be a rampart with a palisade. So basically, earth and wood, the other one, earth and stones. So the other one was longer, more expensive. A lot of people, they did not agree for the longer walls. Basically, the intendant, who was the one, let's say, in charge of the money of the colony. So he did not agree for the bigger wall, but the governor was agreeing for this bigger wall. And this wall, it was shorter, but we didn't have a lot of men to defend the city, so some people, they really liked the idea. So the solution, we had two ideas to do two kinds of walls. We did them both at the same time. So Quebec City was a big construction site. And when really the British threat was getting real in 1745, we had to make a quick decision about we needed something completed. So they decided to finish the wall over there. It was another engineer who decided to finish it. He was called Chausse-Gros de Léry. He is a really important engineer. So he finished the wall, almost. When the British arrived in Quebec City, well, they still succeeded to take the city. They fought outside of the city on the plains. And when they succeeded, they went inside of the city. The French tried to take back the city from the British. But then, the British, they were quite comfortable inside of those beautiful walls, so they
like the British took
succeeded
over?
again.
Like
Excuse me?
The British like took control?
Yeah, they took control,
okay.
and then the French, they tried to take it back.
Yeah.
But the walls, they succeeded at their use, because the point of a fortification is to slow down the enemy until you get some reinforcements. and the first reinforcements to arrive were British.
Oh wow, sucks.
So the French were crying away with their walls that they built and finally did not work. And for the British, when they arrived, they decided to finish what the French had begun. So the wall over there, and they also added the citadel. It was back in 1832, and you can imagine the Canada was created in 1867. It's 30 years later. Imagine all the money that was invested to do a citadel just before they did not know it yet, but the British Army was going to quit Quebec in 30 years. The British also built those outworks there, but those do not exist anymore, because back in the 1870s, when the British Army quit Quebec City, the population, they didn't like the walls, because, it was creating a lot of traffic, they were ugly, so the people, they started to destroy them. So this was destroyed. A couple of gates were destroyed. Palace Gate, Hope Gate, Prescott Gate, they were all destroyed. St. Louis Gate was destroyed also. St. John was a bit bigger than the average, so it was not destroyed yet. But basically, a man who was named he was Governor General of Canada, he was named Lord Dufferin. He helped to preserve the walls, and he was the one to enlarge the gates.
What was the name? Lord Dufferin?
Lord Dufferin,
Okay.
yes. So he was the one who enlarged the gates and who helped to preserve the walls. So that's the big summary. Would you like to go and take a peek at the scale model?
Yeah.
Good. Do you have any questions?
Like how did the French gain control back?
How did the French?
Yeah.
Well, they did not.
They didn't.
No, we did some deals with the British to keep speaking French. But we were not. Because we had some deals. The British, they had an enemy.
Yeah.
It was the Americans. The Americans were the enemy. And so they didn't want the French population to rebel with the Americans. So they said, let's do the Act of Quebec. So the deal is, you continue to speak French, you continue to practice your religion and keep your civil laws, and in exchange, you don't go ally with the Americans. So we kept speaking French just because of this.
Makes sense.
And a couple of more laws later.
Okay. It's pretty cool history.
Here. So here it's a big scale model of Quebec City, and it used to be twice bigger. Because it was a man who was named Jean-Baptiste Duberger, who was absolutely, it was his passion in Quebec City. He really loved the city. And they needed to do a presentation to London. Excuse me, sir, can you please put back your mask? Thank you. So they needed to do a presentation in London about the Quebec City, and it was to ask for budget for fortification. So it was a PowerPoint presentation of the time, a big scale model. So it went to London, it went eventually back to Quebec City. It was restored a couple of times. There was a lot of dust, you can imagine it. And the castle that I was talking to you about is in the front. Oof, my laser has some problems. You can see in the front with the cliff, there's kind of the little here, just before the hill. Trying hard. So St. Louis Castle is in the front. In the back there is the Alderman Castle, because there used to be two castles inside of this fort. So when the St. Louis Castle burned, the Alderman Castle did not burn. It was transformed into a school, and eventually it's Canadian Pacific, the railroad company, who bought the Alderman Castle. They destroyed it and they built the Fairmont Hotel on top, so the Chateau Frontenac. And it was to attract tourists in Quebec City and to make them travel by train also, because that's the point of their company, to make them travel, and so that the tourists would have some great place to stay and also a great view on the St. Lawrence River, which is here, technically. And a lot of buildings that you see there, they are not there anymore because they burned. Our problem here is we have winter, and during the winter, water pumps, they're frozen, so we cannot do anything. Did you have any questions? You're good?
What church is that right beside the castle?
The church with the turquoise roof is the Cathedral, Notre-Dame, Basilique
Oh, it's the
Cathedral.
Notre Dame one. Okay.
Yeah. And in front there's kind of a big dome.
Yeah.
It burned. It was a market. And in the back of the dome there's this square that is orange yellow.
Yeah.
This was the Jesuits college. I think it burned. It's always a good hypothesis. But nowadays it's the city hall on top.
And then where are we right now?
Right now we are in the back.
On the outside.
Yeah, we are on the other side of the city, and that's exactly why we needed a wall on the other side of the city. There's a natural fortification in front of Quebec City just because of the cliff, but in the back we had nothing, so we needed to really reinforce the west part of the city.
Makes sense.
So I think you're ready for...
What walls can we see now? Like
What
are left?
walls can we see now? Well,
Yeah.
the walls that... Maybe it's not the best point of view, because
Uh-huh.
here it was during the British period, and it's mostly on the other side. And on our side here, sure, the Rampart Street here, there is still a rampart on Rampart Street,
Mhm.
but it was lowered during the
Okay.
1870s to have a great view on the port.
Makes sense, yeah. Okay. Are you ready for the next stage?
Yes. Taking a look at the time, and you don't know how big it is. So you need to go back there. It's all blocked here.
Okay.
And yeah, I hope you liked it.
Okay, thanks so much. Yeah, it was
It's
amazing.
a
Yeah.
pleasure.
You explained it well. A great summary. This way.
There's in the back. Just have to exit and cross the road, and you're out.
Okay, thanks so much. No, that's the next level history, though. Yo, I didn't know that. I thought they beat the British, bro. Yo, I didn't know that the British faked them, fam. That's massive. Yeah, they hate them. The British took over, yo. Yeah, that's why they hate it. Now it makes sense, bro. Now the history makes sense, man.
Yeah.
The British are smart. They're smart.
I don't blame them, bro.